Critic. I'm Tim McKinney.
I'm Andrew Nelson.
And this week we're going to be talking about modern horror movies. What's good, what's not, and everything else. Well, we had a hard time picking this one, didn't we?
Yeah, really hard time.
Yeah.
There's not really any more good horror movies anymore.
Exactly, And so we went through basically what we thought was, moderately good, I guess you could say, to try to find something we could work with.
Fair to middling.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, it's let that be a note out to the directors out there in the future. Let's get some good stuff.
Make good movies.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's go with number 10 first, and we'll discuss that one. I mean,
this list is pretty horrifying.
No kidding, man. I mean, but got to work with what we got to work with. Number 10, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
You do?
Yeah. Anyhow, this movie came out back in the 90s, and was, I guess, from that franchise of Scream and all those kinds of things out of there. But I would have to say it was an okay movie. I mean, it didn't have, it had its suspenseful moments that would make you wonder what's going on.
The Oscar winner, best dialogue, best cinematography, but I guess it was still pretty good.
Yeah, it was a fairly good movie, and I guess
considering how many remakes and sequels and parodies they made off of it.
Exactly. I mean, it's a good movie, but it's not a great movie.
Yeah.
I guess we could put it that way, right? I would probably give it 2 stars.
I give it about 2.
About 2.5, somewhere right around there.
2.5.
That's being generous, 2.5.
Yeah. Too generous.
Yeah. Let's go on down the list here.
Okay.
We'll get past that one. And number 9, we'll go with Scream.
The classic Scream.
Yeah, Screams 1, 2, and 3, and all them little movies they made there. Wes Craven, good guy.
Yeah. Generally, I like his work.
Yeah.
He comes up with some pretty weird-looking creatures, and she's pretty much renowned for.
Yeah, how can he really come back and make anything better than Nightmare on Elm Street?
Yeah.
I mean that franchise, just is a good, like we said last week, they've done it over too much,
Too much.
What I mean? Yeah. But as far as the first one, Wes Craven was a part of that one, and a lot of people don't know that about Friday the 13th. Yeah. Okay. Whatever here. But anyhow, Nightmare on Elm Street is the fact that Wes Craven only did the first one.
Really?
Yeah, and then the other ones did that, and then he come back and did the new Nightmare, which was actually pretty good, brought out of all that junk that they did. But back to Scream, anyhow. Yeah. Okay, number 9, Scream.
Nightmare on there instead.
Yeah, Nightmare on Scream Street should be the tagline on that one. But
Nightmare of new horror movies.
I gotta admit, it had Drew Barrymore in it, which was hey, Drew Barrymore.
Eye candy.
Yeah, exactly. But it was a fairly good movie. I mean, it wasn't the best movie in the world, but it was a pretty good movie. A lot of kids liked it, probably, I would say, teenagers and things like that back in the day, I guess.
Showing your age.
Yeah. But, I would give Scream probably 3 stars.
I give it 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5, 3. 3's being generous. I'm just trying to be a generous guy.
I'm not.
We'll go to number 8.
Movies, you gotta be ruthless, man.
Yeah, no kidding. Number 8 is a recent film that came out and now on DVD, which I seen the original one years ago. You know what I mean? And that's The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, the new remake.
Yeah, and I said I put that at number 8 because I think it was a pretty good movie as far as the low budget of they used to make the film, but. It was a pretty good film, but I like the original, of course.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
The thing with those remakes, the originals are always better in every case.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I think they kind of added a little more to it, kind of explained it a little bit more, which was nice. But I would have to say Hills Have Eyes. I would give that probably 2 stars.
I'd give it 2.5.
2.5.
Just because I like the new visuals, the better special effects. I think really added to it.
Okay.
That's what I liked about it.
Okay, I'd say number 7, The Devil's Rejects. Now this is kind of a cross between a movie of what I want to say Night of the Living Dead. I was trying to get it out there, swimming over my mind right now. Night of the Living Dead and I don't know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of rolled into one in that. And these people were kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I don't know, it just didn't have the substance that, and I thought they were trying to pull off of Texas Chainsaw.
Sort of like the classic cannibal goes after kids that are lost and broke down.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah,
almost.
yeah. That same thing, and it was an alright movie, but it played off of a lot of other movies that we've seen over the years, and then they were trying to make it their own, but it just didn't play up to what I thought it could have played up to. So I give it 2 stars.
I give it 2 as well.
Yeah, I think 2 stars.
It was okay, but I just wasn't crazy about it.
Yeah, exactly. And then the DVD features are nice on it. But, I mean, if you can't stand watching the movie, then you probably ain't going to want to watch the special features of it.
Or if you're like me and you have a short attention span, and you just kind of get lost and start looking around at stuff in the room.
Yeah, exactly, man. I've been there on a couple movies. You know what I mean? Let's go to number 6. Number 6 of our program here, we're going to be The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Ah.
Now we're starting to get into a little bit better films.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I thought that film, I figured when I first saw it, I thought, well, they're just trying to play off of
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist, the original Exorcist, you know what I mean? But this is based on a true story as well. And I thought it was put together very well. You know what I mean? It didn't try to get into too much visual effects or anything that, off the wall stuff. You know what I mean? They kept it pretty simple, but yet it was scary, and it was a good movie. I mean, what do you think about it?
I agree with you pretty much. Sometimes simpler is better.
Yeah.
Simply put.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was a really good movie, and I would recommend it to anybody who's wanting to watch a movie like this, like The Exorcist, or maybe Carrie even. You know what I mean? Would like this, because this is a really good informational movie because it's based on a case that happened in Germany back in, I think it was like the 1940s or somewhere around there, where a psychologist was trying to help this girl who was having visions and they thought she just had like multiple personalities or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
And just get the movie because you'll really enjoy it. And once you watch it, and know what's going on in there. But I would give Emily Rose, I would say, 4 stars.
I don't know, I'd give it 3.
You give it 3?
Yeah.
Okay, Andy gives it 3 and I give it 4. Alright. Well, we can't agree every time,
That'd be boring.
Number 5, which I know this is one that you're a stickler on.
Well, one version.
Yeah, okay. Number 5, The Grudge, or the Japanese version.
The version I like, the Japanese version, is called Ju-On.
Ju-On. Now, this is another case where they took a Japanese movie and they turned it into an American-based movie.
They Americanized it, which means, of course, when that happens, they twist the plot and start, as I said in another episode, they try to over-explain everything.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, I thought the actual Japanese version of it was a much better movie. You know what I mean? Even though there was times, because of the language barrier and things like that you couldn't really.
Well, see, that's the thing. If you get the problem with that is, okay, either get the dubbed version where they, dub the American voice actors, or else you get the subtitle version.
Yeah, exactly.
And personally, I'd rather go with subtitles. Usually, they don't do a good job dubbing.
I agree with that because a lot of people think, well, it takes away from the movie because you have to sit here and you're having to read this whole thing. But in a way, it kind of construes the information to you because you're hearing what they're saying in their own language, plus you're being able to read it and understand it. And
you learn about another language.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought the Japanese version of it was a lot better than the Americanized version.
I definitely
I agree with you on that. And I would give The Grudge. Okay, I would give that probably 3.5 stars. And then I would give Ju-On. Ju-On, is that how you pronounce it? I'm sorry, I'm not good with those words, but I would give that. I'd probably give that 4 stars.
That's why you're not paying me.
I would give that 4 stars.
I would give The Grudge 3 stars, and I would give Ju-On definitely 4.
4 stars?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds about right. Let's go with number 4, which is The Ring. Another movie taken from a Japanese version.
Which I like, which is called Ringu.
Ringu. And this was taken and made as, again, into the American version. And it lost some of its translation, I think, from not the language, not the language barrier, but I mean just the translation of the substance from the Japanese to the American version.
Well, that's always going to happen when a movie's Americanized or taken from another country.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what I see. I mean, it's understandable that they want to take a movie that did well somewhere else and try to make it Americanize it. But that's another thing. What we were talking about, guidelines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times because of the guidelines that the American producers have to go through because of ratings and you know who will be watching it and whatever, they have to cut out a lot of the things that are important to the film.
Because in some other countries, the guidelines and the rating board, for example, is a lot more lax on certain things.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, if I can interject, there's another movie that it's a Korean movie. It's much like a horror. It's called The Eye.
The Eye?
The Eye.
I believe I've seen that. I can't remember right now off the top of my mind, but I believe
it's basically about a blind girl who gets an eye transplant and she can start seeing ghosts.
Oh, okay.
And there's a fact that they say in the movie, there's 2 scenes where a demonic face appears on the window, and they look through and it is not on the film.
Oh, really?
It's just something that popped up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's a movie worth getting to see.
Oh, another one real quick too.
Sure,
I'll add
sure.
real quick. It's a Japanese movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horror. It's called Audition.
Oh, wow.
It's about a girl that goes to this audition, and this guy is trying to hire her, and she ends up rather, kidnapping him and you know torturing him.
Oh, wow.
And there's one scene. It's actually kind of disturbing. It's just this limbless body in a burlap sack. And it's just, the sack's just sitting there, and all of a sudden the phone rings, and his body starts rolling around.
Oh, wow.
That was scary.
That sounds like a good movie. I mean,
it is.
I'm surprised they haven't taken that and turned it into an American version.
I hope they don't.
But yeah, that sounds pretty
getting
good.
back to our
So
list.
I mean, that's a good, you know, good information. Because I mean, if you want to get out there, what's the name of those 2 again, so that they can?
Okay, the one is a Korean movie. It's called The Eye.
Okay.
Okay, and the other is called Audition.
Audition.
I highly recommend Audition.
Now, is that like available at the local video rental store, or is that something you have to like order?
You might be able to find it. Depends on you know, how big the movie selection at the rental store is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know, get on Amazon.com, somewhere like that, or something. And look
find it on the internet easily.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, The Ring. Back to The Ring.
Okay.
I give The Ring, I would say, probably 3.5 stars, and Ringu 4.
I'd give The Ring 3,
3.
and Ringu 3.5.
3.5. Okay, sounds good.
I mean, I like the original Japanese version a lot better.
I agree with you on that. Let's go to our number 3 movie. Now, this is a movie I like.
Oh,
I really liked it a lot. And, you know, they parodied it, of course, on Scary Movie.
Oh, they parody half these movies.
Yes,
movies
yes.
and other movies.
Now, that's another thing we should do a show on, I believe. And if you, ladies and gentlemen, out there want to write to us and let us know what you think about it, is movie spoof movies. You know,
they parodies.
Yeah. We'll look at that, what they've done, and taken off of other movies and put it into that. And if you think that's a good idea and something you would want to see on our program, write to us and let us know.
Please.
Our number 3 movie is Saw. And Saw, I thought Saw was very, very original. I thought it was a good idea.
It was.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And something, there again, like we were saying last week, any movie that could actually happen is more scary than a movie that is off the wall, far-fetched, or something, you know, like Nightmare on Elm Street is just a little off the wall.
Yeah.
But you take something like this, these people are locked up in a room, and told that they have to do a certain thing to get out of here, you know, like a game.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it interesting is that in order to live, they have to either sever a limb or kill another living person or something like that. The value of life.
Yeah, they have to sacrifice something of their own to be able to go on and live. And I just thought it was a really good movie because it looked at, you know, I mean, that this could happen to you or something like that. And I would give Saw, from my point of view, I'd give Saw probably 4 stars.
I'd give it 4 as well. I think it was fresh, it was original. Basically, you know, everything, the plot, especially the makeup.
Yeah, exactly. It was really good. I mean, it was before its time, I guess I should say, because it mimicked the older movies brought into the future.
Yeah, it bridges that little gap between when horror movies were good and horror movies now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, for some reason, Saw reminded me of a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah, it did. It really did. Let's go on to number 2.
Okay.
Number 2 is a movie that I like because it's based on a true story, and again, it's something that could happen, and it's you know, I mean, it's a very interesting program or movie, I think. And
I'll give it that. It is kind of interesting.
And that would be Wolf Creek.
Yeah.
That sets place in Australia. It's supposed to take place in Australia, Outback. and it's about a girl who gets once again broke down. And
as in much of these movies, they're lost, and their car just happens to break down.
Exactly, and then this local guy, helps him out, and but it turns out into a nightmare, like most of these movies do. Well, everything on the list is pretty much a nightmare.
Yeah.
But it turns out to be a nightmare for them, I guess I should say, the girl and the guy and all that. But I would give Wolf Creek, I would say 3 stars.
I give it 3 as well. It was all right. There are things I like a lot better.
It had its moments, but then it just didn't have what was needed in a horror film, I don't think. But it's not my number 2 because it was an interesting movie. And I would say it's number 2 because... Okay, our next movie we want to look at is...
Big number 1.
Big number 1, Silent Hill.
Yeah.
Now, I thought Silent Hill... Now, I played the video game.
Oh, I played all 4.
Yeah, and that video game really, really shocked me because there was times when you just didn't know what was coming, and then bam, it just shot right out at you.
Oh, definitely.
And I love the video game. And I thought, well, this has got to be a great movie because it's off a video game. But I always hear you say,
9 times out of 10, movies based on video games turn out awful.
Exactly.
I mean, need I mention? Gamers are gonna hate me. I hate myself because I'm a gamer for mentioning this. But Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Alone in the Dark.
Yeah. It does.
Horror movie, Mario Brothers. That should be the top 4.
Yeah, it's a horror movie. Yeah.
But actually, Silent Hill, for being adapted from a video game, I thought it turned out excellent.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought it was a really good movie.
Especially the creatures.
Yeah, exactly. And go ahead.
Okay. That's what video game movie adaptations should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhat true.
Exactly.
To the game.
Exactly. And I thought the special effects were really good in it. You know what I mean? And it just the mesmerization of it, I guess you could say, because it just you really didn't know what was going on between each world, but you knew it was a different world which she was in. You know what I mean?
The thing is, if you played the game, you pretty much know what
exactly.
Exactly. So that's where playing the game helps. To understand.
Exactly. But I thought it was a really good movie. I think one of the best horror movies, actually. I mean, I guess if you could look at it, I don't know. Would you look at that as more of a thriller and horror movie, both?
Well, I'd say it might be considered horror for the look of like the pyramid head and some of the other creatures and some of the killings that are carried out.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say it's horror.
Yeah. Why not? It's our show. It's our show.
All right. We'll say it's horror.
We want to call the Beverly Hillbillies movie horror, then by golly, it's horror.
Yeah. Well, I won't go there. I love the Beverly Hillbillies.
So do I.
But anyhow, Silent Hill. I think it was a really good movie, and I would give it 4.5 stars.
I definitely give it 4.5. My only problem is that the cute cop girl dies at the end.
I know. That was bad. But there were some intense scenes in that movie.
Definitely.
I mean, some intense scenes. If you really want to like sit down with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, or your husband or your wife, whatever,
or by yourself,
or by yourself, and watch a really scary movie that will make you jump. This is the movie. I mean, this is the movie here because
I don't know if it would be considered really scary because there's nothing that really like jumps out at you all of a sudden.
Not really, but it's
scary in its own way.
It just has the weirdness to it. I always say weirdness, but what I mean by that is not like it's really off the wall or anything like this. But what I mean is like you're sitting here watching it and it's like it could be behind you at any time or in the room.
Now, when I first heard about Silent Hill the movie, I was afraid they're going to use the fog. Too much to completely obscure everything.
Yeah,
but they did a really excellent job.
They did a really good job.
It was just subtle enough where it didn't completely cover the characters. But the background, it was all kind of hard to see. That was excellent.
Yeah, I thought they did a really good job with all the ash and that stuff coming down.
Oh yeah.
And all that. I thought that was really good.
And the haunting siren.
Yes, that was nice.
It gets extra points in my book because it has a Johnny Cash's Ring of Fire.
But if you want to watch a really good movie and a movie that'll fright you, but not over fright you or anything, this is a good movie to go see.
See Silent Hill.
Yeah, rent it,
buy it, whatever. Just
see it. It's a good movie. Now that's our top 10. I'm going to recap our top 10, and then we're going to talk about a couple other movies that we didn't put in our top 10, but are pretty good movies. Okay.
And there's one that I'd like to add too that almost slipped my mind.
Okay. We'll add that
after we
let me go through the recap here. Number 10 was I Know What You Did Last Summer. Number 9 was Scream. Number 8 was The Hills Have Eyes. Number 7 was Devil's Rejects. Number 6 was Exorcism of Emily Rose. Number 5, The Grudge. Number 4, The Ring. Number
3.
3, Saw. Yeah, I thought I said 3 there, but I didn't. Number 2, Wolf Creek. And number 1, Silent Hill. Now, what movie was you want, Dan?
It's not so much horror, but I was thinking of the Resident Evil movies.
Yeah, those are. I would consider those more sci-fi.
Really? I don't know. See, zombies, usually zombies are connected with horror.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right about that. I guess it could be a cross between the sci-fi horror.
Well, it's not sci-fi in the sense that, they're shooting lasers at the zombies and all this, they're popping up from the future.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the creatures, the zombies, the dog monsters.
Yeah, exactly.
And them trying to get out of the laboratory, and even in the sequel, the Nemesis, which I think they did a good job on the makeup.
It was good.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and another movie I'd like to add in there too as well is the movie Doom.
Oh,
I thought Doom was a really, not the best because the game has been around for years and it's a really good game. I mean, maybe not for younger people, of course. But it's a really good game, and I didn't think that the movie really lived up to the game.
Well, see, that's another thing. Like with Resident Evil, the first one wasn't faithful to the game, and so that it doesn't really hide in my book. Yeah. But it's still a good movie, and it's enjoyable to watch.
Exactly.
Same with Doom. I didn't care for it. I think, but that's just me.
Exactly.
It could have been closer to the game, but that's just me.
Some of the movies we forgot to add into our top 10
because we forget.
The first one we talked about is Jeepers Creepers. Now I thought this was a good movie.
It was
because it really frightened you, but yet it had a meaning to it. It had a plot line. So
exactly, which is rare.
Yeah, which is rare in a horror film, most usually in the newer ones anyway. But I just like the whole fact of it. And then again, they went and made a part 2, which kind of I didn't. Yeah. Although they pulled it off pretty good, I just didn't think that it was the best.
Okay,
in the world.
but sometimes great movies, after one movie, they should be left alone.
Exactly. I believe that as well. But Jeepers Creepers, yeah, I'd say it's a good film. I would give it 3.5 stars.
I'd give it just 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah.
Another movie we forgot to add in here, but I wanted to mention because it's a pretty good movie, is the movie Darkness Falls.
Yeah.
Now, I thought this was a good movie because, everybody, the Tooth Fairy and
everybody
all that.
thinks of the fairy, the Tooth Fairy will come, leave money under your pillow, but the idea of using the Tooth Fairy, considered it as like an evil being.
Yeah,
that was smart.
That was original and good.
That was smart.
And playing on the fear of darkness.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody, I think, has a little bit of a fear of darkness.
Oh.
Even though they don't want to admit it, I think they do. And I think this movie really played on that fear, because you didn't know what was coming in the darkness,
Well,
and of course, but I mean,
you got night vision, but it doesn't work in darkness.
I like the part where he goes and hides in the bathroom as a little boy, so he's in the light, so he can stay away from this thing, and then grows up all of his life in light all the time. And it's a really mesmerizing movie in the sense that it's original, where the way they took something that's in folklore and turned it into a good horror movie. So I would give Darkness Falls 3.5 stars.
I'd give it 3.5 as well. I think it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a pretty good movie.
It was.
Excuse me. Another movie we wanted to mention, and we didn't put it in the top 10, was U-Turn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was another movie that was set in West Virginia.
Well, supposedly based on a true story that was set in West Virginia.
Yeah. But it was a fairly good movie. Yeah. It had its moments.
Of course, they break down.
But yeah, of course they break down. It seems like there's a theme there, man, with every horror movie. It seems
it's
like
part of the horror movie law.
Yeah,
kids
they broke down.
Lost, break down.
Woods.
Die.
Woods are always in there somewhere.
Yeah.
These people were kind of like Texas. And here we go again. They were pulling off of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I think most horror movies, modern ones, are going to draw somewhat off of classics.
Yeah, they would have to.
They can't come up with anything original.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Except for maybe Saw or something like that.
Well, there are exceptions, but I'm saying most of them.
Yeah, but I would say U-Turn. I would give it 3 stars.
I'd give it 2.5.
Yeah, it's an alright movie.
Yeah.
Another movie we didn't add in there is Hostel.
Oh yeah.
Now Hostel was a pretty good movie.
Quentin Tarantino.
Well, he didn't direct it, but he had assistants in it.
Yeah.
Into the film. But I thought it was a pretty good movie, and also that was based on a true story, something that actually happened.
Basically, that does happen in European countries, which kind of makes me afraid to go.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of frightens you. You know what I mean? To do that, but there again, it's something that can happen. Therefore, it makes it scary, I believe. And I would give Hostel 3.5 stars.
I'd give it just 3.
3. Hostel's a pretty good movie. If you've never seen it, go out and get it and watch it, because it's a really good movie. movie we left out here as well is 13 Ghosts.
Oh yeah.
Now I thought that was a good movie. I love it.
I like anything with Tony Shalhoub.
Yeah, Tony Shalhoub. He's good in that.